live in the United States is I wouldn't live in a graveyard because I just like so many reasons. First, I guess it's the stigma of, like you said, here we think about, the creepy movies, Jason. If you're making out in a graveyard, Jason comes and kills you, or, then I'll think about like ghosts, and there's all creepy crawlies in graveyards, and I don't even think I could be like what do you call those guys that work nights in a graveyard? I couldn't do that.
A night watchman. No, that's not what they're called. Night
I couldn't
watchman.
do
That's
that.
not it. Yeah, but that's their job. I mean, someone's got to do it.
I couldn't do that. But yeah, no, living in a graveyard, living near a graveyard, even like you're in a house, but like right across the street is a graveyard or a cemetery, or like down the street even. I couldn't do that. I just couldn't do that. And what I actually thought you were going to say is, in America, the whole place is a graveyard, which technically everywhere, you have people buried under you, but out of sight, out of mind. You don't have headstones, so you don't really think about it. So yeah. Anyways, so my answer is no. I would never live in a graveyard. Even if I was dead poor, I'd live under a bridge or something first. I
Yeah,
couldn't.
but think of it like this, though. But think of it like this. I know this is not our culture in America, but your loved ones in many other societies and cultures, it's a honor, for them to stay with you, even in death. Do you
I
see what I
mean,
mean?
I hear that, but I'm not in these cultures, so I don't have that kind of mindset.
Right.
That's something that you have to be born with, and it has to be like second nature to you. That's not how. So I guess I take that back. What I said when I said it's not just because we're in America, but I guess it is because that's not how we were raised. So
Hmm.
I don't know. So, anyways, in 1986, so 1986, she was what, 18 at this time? So, in 1986, so she's 18, while living in the city of the dead, Omaima met an American oil worker. They did not have information about this guy. There was no name, there was no anything. I guess he just wanted to stay anonymous. But, anyways, she met an American oil worker. And, they got kind of close and everything, and their relationship turned into a sexual one. It wasn't that they really had, like, they weren't going out boyfriend, like, this is my man. It wasn't any boyfriend, girlfriend stuff. So I really think it's just like, hey, what you doing? Want to have sex? Kind of thing. Like, you're gorgeous. Let's have sex.
Oh,
I
wow. It
really,
happens every day.
I really think that's what it was. But after some time, her mom was like, well, you know what? You're kind of with this guy a lot. Maybe you should marry him and get out of this city of the dead and move to the US. So,
Right.
yeah, it actually says, like, researching it, like, there's nothing on this guy. So we don't know if she actually liked this guy or not, if they're really going together. Even his name, his age, nothing. So, I guess that all didn't matter, because if you're just trying to get out of a poor situation, then I guess
Yeah.
all that back history doesn't matter anyway. So she moved to the US. So she was still 18. So she moved to the US. But the marriage to unnamed man didn't last too long. So now Omaima is like 18, 19. She's in a foreign country. She doesn't speak English really well. So she's used to being poor though, so she knows how to hustle, and so she starts taking like housekeeping jobs and nannying jobs just to keep herself afloat, keep herself in like a little apartment probably, stuff like that. Now that part I'm just guessing because there's nothing that says that. So I know she had housekeeping jobs, she had nannying jobs, and I'm just guessing it was to make a little bit of money to make ends meet and probably stay in an apartment instead of being on the street. However, because she was so beautiful, she was able to do modeling too. So, she
I was
has
just
the
going to ask
housekeeper.
you, Kai, I was just going to ask you, what does she look like? I'm always curious about some of these, the subjects that, that we have in our shows. And so I would be really curious. So I'm going to do some research, and I want to link it to, I guess, our relationship site and or a group, and maybe our general
Well,
site or something. So
I always post a picture of who we're talking about anyway.
okay,
But
great. Mhm.
Yeah, you look up her name. I mean, she's cute. I wouldn't say she's, oh my God, she's gorgeous. I wouldn't say anything like that. But
Okay.
you
I'm
know,
sure our listeners are still curious though. She's a, she's Egyptian.
yeah,
It's so exotic. I would just be curious to see like what is she
Egyptian
like.
isn't exotic.
Yeah.
Egyptian is Egyptian, and that's actually what I was gonna say. In this country, if it's something that you're not used to seeing, you're it's exotic. She's gorgeous. So it could be somebody who looks like a foot, but they just have like really almond eyes and really dark long hair, and you're just like, oh my God, exotic. And you're just like people like me who've been everywhere, and you're just like, are we looking at the same person here? This person's ugly. That's why I hate the term exotic. I really hate it. But
Well,
no, she just looks like a regular
that's
woman to
another
me.
argument. That's another argument because some people definitely consider the word to term exotic to be a compliment because it means that they're unique because of the specific features or the hue of their skin or their hair. So yeah, I think it has its own place for a reason. I don't think it should just be lumped into some one particular mindset.
No, I know a lot of people of color hate the term exotic because of such a stigma that's attached to it. But that's for a whole other topic, and that's not what our show is about. So, anyways, so yeah, she was able to do modeling, so now she's doing housekeeping, nannying, and modeling. However, Omaima being Omaima, she wasn't happy with like the one-time modeling gigs and the money that being a nanny and housekeeping was bringing in. So she started to use her looks to get her money. So she started to have like back to back to back to back to back to back to back relationships with men who she would end up scamming for money. She would use her looks to get her rent paid, to get cars, stuff like that. And because she was doing this, she would just go, she's not really into the person. She's just into what they can give her. So she would go from man to man and town to town, scamming just different kinds of guys. It didn't matter to her as long as they would give her what she wanted. So on one occasion, she actually threatened one of her guys with a shotgun and then robbed him and then broke up with him. Which I'm like, dude, shouldn't you have broken up with her? You should have been like, dude,
Before
this
you
is
got to
over.
that point,
Like it's
that's
over. You have a
crazy.
shotgun on me. But yeah,
That's crazy.
she held him up with a shotgun, robbed him, and then was like, you know what, Sam, this isn't gonna work out for me. Just give me whatever you have in your wallet and that safe over there, and whatever you have under your bed, and let's go to the ATM and take out some money for me. And then that's it.
Mhm. Yeah.
So, but if I've ever heard of a crazy way to break up with someone, I think that kind of is on top of the list.
Yeah, that's pretty much at the top of the list.
Yeah, I'd be like, hey, you know that girl that was from Egypt that you were with? Are y'all still together? And he's like, no. Oh man, she broke up with you? What happened? Well, funny you ask. Yeah, so after some time, men and drifting, she ended up in Orange County, California, and this is where our story begins. So Bill Nelson, again, with him, not much is found, and I had to do some digging, 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 digging. Whew. But Bill Nelson was born around 1935 in the United States. That's about as general as I could find it. I couldn't find very, very much about him except that he was a pilot. He had like a very bragging, loud personality. He always carried around like this thick wads of cash. And then, as he's carrying it, he likes to tell people, I got this thick wad of cash. Don't believe me? Check it out. So he's that kind of person. And if you notice what I said, he was a pilot. Well, that's because in 1984, that kind of ended when he was caught smuggling a load of weed on his plane, and he was sent to prison for that. So his pilot license was revoked, and he was no longer a pilot. So then in 1991, so 91, so Omaima's about 23 right now. So at 23, she's a hot Egyptian. She's at a bar.
A hot Egyptian. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
What? She's Egyptian and she was considered hot.
Okay.
Isn't that good? What did I say that was wrong?
No, it's just you don't hear this term very often. So I was like,
Oh.
okay, yeah, that's a hot Egyptian. Wow. I mean, it
Okay then.
probably gets. I mean, it was interesting. It kind of has a little ring to it. She's a hot Egyptian. Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
anyways, so guess who was at the bar? Bill. Bill was at the bar, and of course, like I said before, he likes to flash around whatever he has. So he was probably, and again, this is just me making stuff up. I don't know if this happened, but he was probably like, "Hey, got a new water cash? Check it out. Look at the rubber band around it. Woo! Yeah, I got a new watch. I got a new ring. Bling bling." So he was probably doing all of this while he was playing pool. So, Omaima was like, "Hey, guy, money. Yeah, I'm about to clean it up tonight." So they hit it off. And I guess maybe Omaima was like, maybe he has like stable money coming in. Maybe I don't rob him. Maybe I just scam him and stick around for a while. So Omaima was 23 and Bill at this time was 56. So they're like 33 years apart.
Whoa, nothing in common, basically. Two
I mean,
different
absolutely
worlds.
nothing. They're not even from the same
Two
country.
different
They're not
worlds.
even from the same side of the globe. They're not from the same, you know, freaking decade. Like nothing. There's nothing in common. But with that being said, Share, would you date a guy who was like 33 years apart, 33 years apart from you,
Now,
whether it was older or younger?
does a sugar daddy count? I don't think so. No. I don't know how
So
else
you
to say
don't
that.
count a sugar daddy in with like a
I
somebody you
mean,
dated?
if I was okay, let's see, 40, 50, 60. Uh, well, I guess maybe not. I guess no. For me, it was probably more like maximum 25 years. But no, I was just saying sugar daddies are often older guys. You know that, right? Most of the time. They're older. And I was in my 30s pretty much during that era and my 40s. So, yeah, I guess I can say yes. But that's not really dating. I don't know. It is dating. I don't know. All I can say is that he was too old for her, in my opinion. I mean, as far as dating, you know.
So,
But I don't
I
think that was
mean,
her. That wasn't her idea, though. Kai, she had no. I don't think she had. How can I speak to about someone that I don't know? But I believe, in my opinion, based on our facts, she didn't have any real intention of getting to know him in a relationship. There was more like a arterial motive. What can I get from out
yeah,
of this
yeah,
person? Yeah.
yeah, but I'm
So
still
that's
kind
what I
of
was
we're
thinking. Hmm?
we're gonna have to do a bonus episode on sugar daddy. But anyways, yeah. So no, I would 33 years apart. Good lord, no. If somebody was 33 years younger than me, they're like 12 or something.
I mean,
And
okay, this
33
is okay,
years,
so I'm thinking like you have nothing to talk about.
no,
You there's
because
nothing in common.
even
What are you doing with
33
this
years
person?
older
It's
than me,
crazy. Yeah.
I was watching He-Man and they were in college or actually out of college starting their life, so they weren't even watching cartoons. So we have nothing to talk
No,
about. The cartoons
no.
they have to talk about is something they're actually older than my mom. So the
Oh,
cartoons they would have to talk about is something my mom wouldn't have even been raised on.
so
So
that's the
there's
rule.
nothing
If
to
they're older than
discuss.
your mom, then just run. Don't walk, but run. If they're older than your mom, well, whatever your
Fast
mom's age
sprint.
is, just run. You have nothing
Yeah,
in common.
no.
It leads
There'd be
it leads
nothing.
to it leads to trouble. Just trust us on this. Yeah, that's what I say.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
anyways, I would never get with this guy, with somebody that much older than me. That's me personally, not knocking people who have or who are, so that's just me personally. But even though they're 33 years apart, they ended up getting married in October of 91. Yeah, so the same year they met, they ended up getting married. And actually, they'd only known each other. So, like, reports on this vary. They'd either only known each other for a couple days or a couple weeks. Either way, it wasn't even a month, and they got married. So now, my thing is, I expect this kind of behavior of a 23-year-old because, I mean, what do you know at 23? You're still learning who you are in life and everything like that. But I kind of don't expect this of a 53-year-old man who has, knowledge and life experience. Let me rephrase that, who should have knowledge and life experience. But you never know. The punani could have been mystical, magical stuff. So you
Exotic.
never know. You never
I just
know.
throw that in there. Yeah.
However, one of the issues is that he was still legally married to another woman. And you know what, Shar? This scenario reminds me. This scenario reminds me of this scene from Harlem Nights. Let's take a listen to that.
Oh, Richie. Oh, Richie.
Okay,
You made me so happy. And you know what I do when you still want to see me?
Yeah.
Oh, Richie. You know, I have to admit, when we